Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast. I'm Andrea Bleck. Today's topic was requested by one of my listeners, and I really appreciate and love when people give me feedback. So I love coming up with topics and creating content for you guys, but I don't want to just be rambling on and on about stuff that I'm passionate about without, taking into consideration what someone who listens to my podcast might want me to talk about. So I asked for some feedback and requests on topics, and I got a lot of responses. And so I'm really appreciative of that. And it turns out that most of the things that people asked me to talk about were things that I either had planned on talking about in the future or things that I am really passionate about. So it makes me really happy because I feel like we're on the same page. Today's topic is about body image. And this has been a huge issue for me personally for a very long time. And I know that it's an issue for a lot of people. No matter what your gender is, I think a lot of people suffer from body image issues. And it is a vulnerable topic. It can be embarrassing to talk about because when it comes down to it, it's about insecurities that we have about ourselves. So I think it's important to address. And I think that a lot of us do have body image issues because of all of these external factors that have really been playing a part, I think, in the last 10, 20 years. It's really gotten bad. So first, I'll talk about the external factors that I think are really, really harming our perception of ourselves, and then what we can do to maybe not completely fix the problem, but to definitely improve it and work on it consistently. So the first external factor I know is a huge problem with our body image is the media. And I mean, it can be social media like your friends or family posting pictures, or it can be celebrities. So when you see someone post a photo of themselves, now I am in no way judging or criticizing the people that post the photos, because I mean, I do it too. We all do it. What I want to focus on is how we feel when we see a picture of somebody else and we think that they look amazing or flawless or perfect. And they very well might. And like I said, not knocking them at all. But I want to make sure that when we see other people post photos, that we don't go down this path and we don't spiral into negative thoughts about our own image. So when someone posts a photo, I want us to take a step back and really think through it before we get all emotional and negative and upset about how we look. So it's very common for people to use filters. It's very common for people to pose a certain way, to hide certain angles, to show certain angles. I mean, I do it too. I think we all do it. So I understand there's nothing wrong with that. But it's important to keep in mind if we are feeling down about ourselves when we see someone else in a picture, that they might be doing these things to make themselves look better or to feel that they look better. And that's totally okay. But remember that what people post is not always complete reality, especially with celebrities. Now, I'm not saying all celebrities. I don't like to make sweeping generalizations about anybody, but a lot of celebrities have professional photographers who take pictures of them, and they can Photoshop, they can, make them look skinnier, make them look more muscular, make their booties look bigger. They can do filters, all that stuff. And celebrities do this because let's be real, they have the money to do so. And I can totally understand how we could, if we had a lot of money, we could get caught up in, hey, I can make myself look really good, or I can make myself look perfect or as close to perfect as possible. I get it. I feel like that's relatable. So with that being said, it's important to keep in mind when we do see celebrities post pictures that it's very possible that there could be a lot of editing done. Also, if we see them, like not just in pictures, but in videos or live, and they look amazing, it's easy to get down on ourselves because, okay, this is really the way that they look. Like there's no filter or Photoshop on this. This is live. And it can make us feel negative towards our own bodies. But it's also important to keep in mind that a lot of celebrities have a lot of money, and many times they pay for operations to make themselves look different. They have a lot of money to spend on the best of the best chefs, the best of the best personal trainers to help them, make themselves look the way they want to look. A lot of celebrities also can afford to spend a lot of time on meal planning, on exercise, because when you have that much money, you are able to take time off and make your own schedule a lot of the time. And people who don't have loads and loads of money, we have to work a lot for the money that we do have. And we don't have as much freedom as they do to take a couple hours a day to go to the gym or to get a personal chef, personal trainer. And so it's important to keep in mind that celebrities have a lot more resources than we do, than the average person does. Something else that I think I mentioned in one of my other podcasts that drives me crazy, and I fell into this trap too, is the whole idea that we can get super fast results, whether it's with money or, weight loss, building muscle, all that kind of stuff. There are these marketing ploys that, say, hey, if you use this product, you'll get results overnight. Or if you stick to this plan, you'll get results in a week or even a month. And they're going to be super drastic results. You won't even believe it. And I have been a victim to these traps. And I mean, a lot of other people have too. And it's the reason that they're around, because this whole idea that it can happen with little effort or little time draws people in. And so they're willing to spend the money on it. So most of the time when something sounds too good to be true, it's because it is. And even if you do get really fast results and the results that you wanted, it's hard for them to stay long term. So, for example, if someone is selling you a product like, I don't know, a weight loss product, or if they sell you this weight loss plan, like fast this many days in a row, drink this juice, eat this, and you'll lose all this weight. You very well might if you stick to it. But a lot of it's water weight. And even what isn't water weight, it can be extremely hard to keep that weight off because of what you had to go through in that little amount of time. Probably a lot of deprivation, maybe a ton of exercise, like overtraining, things that are very, very unrealistic and hard to stick to long term. So that's why a lot of people are stuck in this yo-yo diet of gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, because they keep doing these programs or products that promise fast results. So it's unrealistic and very hard to actually get the results. And B, even if you do get the results, it's very difficult to maintain. So this is something that I am really, really focusing on, that good things take time. And the longer it takes to achieve, the longer it will stay. And I think this is something that we really need to pay attention to, that the media is trying to make us believe that things can happen super quickly. And a lot of the times they just can't. We wish they could, but that's just not how it really works. Something that I have been doing recently to kind of become more positive and realistic and caring towards myself, I noticed that, okay, so I've talked about this before, but in my second pregnancy with my daughter, I could barely eat anything healthy. It wouldn't stay down. It wouldn't sound good at all. I pretty much had like a hangover diet. I would be able to eat greasy, fatty foods, delicious foods, but foods that, are not healthy. And I was eating them every single day because that's mostly what I could keep down. And so I also couldn't exercise because of how sick I felt. And that really took a toll on my mental health as well. So as a result, surprising to nobody, I gained a lot of weight. And when I was pregnant and even like newly postpartum, and whenever I would be nursing my daughter, I would start to follow a bunch of fitness experts or just people who are really in shape on TikTok. And so my whole feed became workout tips, eating tips, people showing like, this is what I used to look like, this is what I look like now, all these transformations. And in the beginning, it did motivate me because I would be sitting there thinking, once I have more time and once I am physically able to, I'm going to get back into the saddle. I am going to eat so healthy. I'm going to work out and I am going to get fit again. So in the beginning, it was really motivating to just scroll through TikTok for a long time and see all of these fitness gurus. But I realized that once I started to work out and eat really healthy again, and it's true what they say, that after you have a kid, especially after you have multiple kids, it's harder to lose the weight. It sure is. It was for me. Well, it is for me. I am in the process right now. And so I realized that I was starting to get so critical of myself. I already am critical of myself, but it was worse. And I was like, why am I doing this to myself? I realized that it was the constant looking through all these TikToks of people in amazing shape that was getting me down. And like, I have a background in nutrition and exercise. I know what I'm doing. I mean, there might be the occasional tip that I get from someone on TikTok that like, oh, that's cool, I'll try that. Or like, I can incorporate a move, like a certain curl that they do that I've never done before, a certain lunge, whatever it is that I haven't tried before. Occasionally I can be like, cool, that's new to me. I'm going to incorporate that into my routine. But for the most part, I have all of the knowledge I need. I have a solid plan for myself. So all of this looking at these people with perfect bodies, all it's doing is getting me down because that's not where I am in my journey right now. That's not my life right now. So I really limited how often I was looking at these TikToks And I kept reminding myself what I talked about earlier. A lot of people are using filters. A lot of people are posing in certain ways. They're flexing. They're using certain lightings. Not to say that their bodies aren't amazing and fit, but when they post these pictures or, these workouts, they are doing things to make themselves look even better. And the body in its natural state is not always going to look like that. So I would remind myself of that. I would also remind myself that someone who looks super fit or is super fit, they have probably been doing this for a very long time, like years. And I am starting over. So it doesn't do me any good to compare myself to other people because they are on a different spot in their journey than I am. And I really have been consciously reminding myself of this. This is going to take time. These people are posing certain ways, and I can get to this point, but it's not going to be fast, and I can't compare myself to other people. So that has helped. There was also something that I heard, I can't remember who said it, but someone said, you are not your body fat. You have body fat. And that really stuck with me because I noticed that I used to. I'm really trying not to, but I would look in the mirror all the time. Every time I went to the bathroom, every time I had a free second, I would go in the bathroom and, lift up my shirt to see my stomach. And I was just constantly criticizing my body. And so something else that I have done is when I do look in the mirror and I see the body fat, the extra body fat, I try to think objectively. So I think in the past, and I still do it, but I'm working on it, I would judge my self-worth based on what I looked like. So if I had more body fat, I, wasn't as worthy. If I had less body fat, I'd be like, okay, good. Now I'm worth more. Like, we can't base our self-worth off of how much body fat we have because it is not part of our identity. We have body fat. We are not our body fat. And it's separate from our soul, our heart, our mind. I think we need to just try to be more objective and take a step back and think, okay, I see body fat here. I would like to get rid of it. These are the steps I need to take in order to do so. Instead of spiraling and thinking, oh my God, look at this flab. I'm so upset. I hate myself. I hate my body. And this really takes a toll on your self-confidence with everything in your life. And so getting so emotionally wrapped up in it is really detrimental to our mental health. So I have tried to be more objective when I look in the mirror, just as if I were, I used to be a health coach. So just as if I were talking to one of my clients, okay, you have some extra body fat here that you want to get rid of. Great. This is what we can do to get you there. I'm also trying to limit the amount of times I look at myself in the mirror. And like if I'm getting ready for a shower, sometimes I'll just go right into the shower. I'm not even going to look at myself in the mirror because I'm not feeling that good today mentally. So I know that if I look at myself in the mirror, it's just going to make me feel worse. Why do it? I'm not going to weigh myself because I know that if it's not the number I want to see, it's going to make me feel worse. So I've been limiting these habits that I've been doing a lot that I know are not affecting me in a positive way. another thing that I think is true most of the time, if you are super critical of your body, no matter what you weigh, no matter what you look like, it will never be good enough for you. Trust me on that. Now my weight has fluctuated a lot even prior to being pregnant because of this relationship I have with food and my body image and exercise. It became really unhealthy. And so I would go up and down in my weight. When I would be really overweight, I would think, if I could just get to this number on the scale, or if I could just look like this, I will be very happy with myself. And most of the time I would reach my weight goal and I would look a lot more fit in the mirror. Was I proud of myself? Yes, but it was very fleeting, because soon after, that feeling of pride would be, ugh, but I need to get even skinnier. I need to get to this number on the scale now. Now that I've reached this number, I need to get even lower than that. And it's kind of like when people say, be careful when you get a tattoo because you won't be able to stop. Or be careful about getting plastic surgery because you won't be able to stop. And that's because, like, you fix one thing and you notice another thing you don't like. And you fix that and you notice another thing. It's never going to be good enough for you if you have that mindset of being so critical. And so, especially if you have an addictive personality like I do. So that is really what happened. And when I heard the person say, you aren't your body fat, you just have body fat. And when I realized that I'm so critical of myself that it doesn't even matter if I have a lot of body fat or not, I am always going to be unhappy, that really hit home for me. So it is completely fine to look at the scale, look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I need to get to a healthier weight. I need to lose this body fat. If it's true and you do need to become more fit, that's totally fine. If you get blood work done and your cholesterol is high, or, some number is high that shouldn't be so high, it is okay to think, okay, I need to work on this. But during the journey of trying to reach your health goals, it's important to not be so critical of yourself, because it's going to make you miserable and it's detrimental to your mental health. And even if you end up reaching your goal, your physical goal, your mind is just always going to find something to criticize. So I think we need to learn, no matter where we are in our journey, whether we are at the very beginning, in the middle, or towards the end, it's important to try to not be so negative, because it's only going to make us spiral. And it's not a good path to go down. Oddly enough, when I was pregnant, I had never loved my body more, because of the amazing thing it was doing, growing a human. That's hard work. That's pretty cool. And also because my main area of critique on myself is my stomach. And so, I hate that I have stomach fat. And I know that a lot of women do have more stomach fat because of, our bodies being designed to carry a child. And so, knowing this, I still get so mad when I see this flab on my stomach. And when I was pregnant and my belly would stretch, yeah, it'd be round, but it's supposed to be round because I have a baby in there. And also, it's tight. So when I would move, there wouldn't be jiggles, because I had a tight stomach from being pregnant. And so my body image was at its best during pregnancies. And I just realized that's pretty, like, in a way, it's cool that I was so appreciative of what my body was doing. But the fact that one of the reasons I had a great body image was because my stomach looked really tight and wasn't jiggling around. I was like, man, that's sad. Why can't I appreciate myself and my body more when I'm not pregnant? And especially right after you have a baby, all that tightness in your stomach, ooh, gone. It's just flab city. The muscles that have, when your stomach stretches out during pregnancy, your stomach muscles can separate. And so it can take some work postpartum to make them tighter again and go back to normal. Yeah, so my body image went from all the way up here to even lower than before I was pregnant. So all this being said, we need to really be kinder to ourselves. And it's not that we need to look in the mirror or look at the scale and ignore what the scale is saying and ignore what, your blood work is saying. It's not that we need to be in denial if we are unhealthy, but on our journey to being healthy, we need to really work on not being so critical, because it's just not a fun, healthy path to go down. So I think this is something a lot of us can work on. I'm working on it every single day. So like I said, the things I'm doing, I'm not looking at TikTok as much because of all the perfect bodies that I see. Each time I see it, I think it just like chips away at my positivity a little bit because I can't help but compare myself. So getting rid of that trigger has been really helpful. Whenever I see a picture of someone who I think looks beautiful, I try to remind myself that, they could be using filters, they could be posing a certain way. And if it's a celebrity, they have a lot of money to work with. So I try to keep those things in mind, as well as remind myself those fast results that a lot of companies promise us. It's just not realistic. It's not true. So if you guys have any questions or any feedback, or if you would like me to go deeper and more detail into this topic, please let me know. I know, like I said at the beginning, it's a sensitive topic for us because it does involve expressing our insecurities, not just admitting our insecurities to other people, but sometimes we have to even just admit them to ourselves, because sometimes we try to just hide them and not think about it. And sometimes we are just subconsciously in denial of how negatively we think about ourselves. So I would love to hear your feedback. If you like this video, please share it, please like it, and please subscribe so that you don't miss any of my other episodes. Thank you guys for watching and listening.